So what does learning to live with grief look like, do you think? I mean, it's different for different people, I'm sure, but what would it be?
I think, again, comes back to talking about it. We need to be able to talk about the loss that's gone and not be afraid to. And having birthday celebrations, anniversaries, Christmas, and remembering that they were part of that in terms of that. It's not being afraid to not speak about it. I suppose that's we don't want to not speak about it.
Do the emotions become less raw? Does it blend more into what you might call everyday life?
Yes, I'd say yes, and that does take time though. So yes, the emotions are real. Often when it's fresh, or even when those significant times in the year happen, it can become irrational. Why am I feeling sad right now? Why am I feeling angry about this? And that's that grief coming back again. So recognising that. And when you do recognising it, saying, oh, this could be grief. And having things like memories and photo albums and trinkets of that remember that person by, and remembering those, again, I say those warm things, those things from long, when they made you laugh, when they made you sad, when they were alive, and remembering those moments, it helps us live with that loss, yeah.
So it's an integration.
Yes.
Bringing past into the present, living with that and continuing through, because there's several interesting phrases I recall about this, that in fact we are the living memory of those who go before us. In other words, if we don't talk about the person that maybe we lost, we grieve about, if we don't, who's going to share the stories?
Yep. So some people find it helpful to have a box of memories and just keep that, and you'll have the photo of the person, or you'll have some hair, or you might have a ring or a present or something they gave you. Yeah, just little things. Even we talk to the children about writing on bits of paper, and I remember this time with my mum when I went to the park and we climbed a tree together, and drawing it and having that is helpful. It's keeping that person alive, yeah, in their memories.
Do you say there is a right or wrong way to grieve, or just there is?
Certainly the safety of the person. So that would be if you're harming yourself or you're harming those around you, that's not a helpful way to grieve. And so there are ways to vent those things other than hurting people or hurting property.
Give me an example of that. Let's say someone is angry. Their world that they expected has been torn away from them.
Yep.
And that rage, where do you put that anger? For example, what would you just say to someone who's angry?
Okay, so again, it comes back to individuals. Some people find it really helpful to scream into a pillow and just, and it's not hurting anybody else. They can't even hear it actually. It's venting that energy. Skipping on a skipping rope. Apparently research has shown that it's impossible to be angry when you're skipping. Or exercise, making something, doing art. Making a list would be of things you like to do, and when you feel that irrational rage / grief in your life, look at your list and say, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for a walk in the park. I'm going to turn my music up loud and only listen to that. I'm going to go and have a sleep. I'm going to shut myself in the closet and just be alone. Those are several practical ways of, that's how people what helps with their grief, yeah.
So what about someone who is in a state of despair? Another display of grief in a different way, that utter desolation. That's possibly for those around that person one of the harder things, because it's very hard to know how to offer anything to remove that, to help.
I mean, it's the toughest thing. So despair is someone who's got a blocked goal, right? If we use that formula. What's their goal in their life is to be normal again, and they just can't get there. So the first thing would be to talk about it. Find a friend. find a counsellor, someone who will listen to you talking about it. The benefits of talking about it is so good. It's and when I've seen the change in people when they learn to just talk about the emotions, when they learn to, when I feel angry, when I feel that despair, where is it in my body? Am I feeling it in my stomach? Am I feeling it in my legs? Am I feeling weak in my shoulders? Being aware of yourself in that regard.
Perhaps also that notion that I feel anger or I feel pain. I am not anger. I am not pain. These are emotions I feel. They're external to who you are as an individual.
And that's a third person sort of stuff, yeah.
Exactly. That, and by being able to externalise that, you can cope with that.
It's useful, yeah. Yeah, it is. So recognising I'm feeling my anger here. Someone who can be a good listener might say, okay, well, what does it look like? Can you get it out and look at it? You know, there's a model of counselling called Gestalt counselling, and that's their way of externalising and bringing it out of the person and discussing it. And it's talking about it though. You know, at the end of the day, they're talking about their.
And it raises an interesting point. Is there a way of counselling, or is it really just listening, that a layperson can help, that a friend can help, or does someone need to go to a professional to cope with grief?
So I would 100% say a layperson can listen. Yeah, a good friend. I mean, I would love to see all the counsellors in New Zealand done out of a job because we have good listeners in the world. Yeah, and we have connections with peers, colleagues, friends, family, that we can talk to the person. Absolutely. I don't think we need to have this idea I need to fix the person. You know, it's not my job to fix them, and I don't think many counsellors would say that's my job to fix you. I'm here to help you fix yourself in that sense. And so the person who listens and is doing that role of listening needs to not have in their head, I've got to fix this person, I've got to fix it. They're just there to listen. Yeah.